Hey, Brad, one of the biggest changes we're all dealing with right now is wearing a mask, and not all offer the same comfort and protection. I recommend the Boomer Natural 3-layer comfortable and highly breathable mask. These come in sizes for adults, teens, and children, and are in stock and be shipped to you quick.
Yeah, Book, one of the reasons they're so highly protective is because of the nano-silver technology that's literally woven right into the fabric. Nano-silver can block those tiny drops and particles from getting into the nose and mouth, and that's what we want right now. It's the best protection out there. Boomer also offers the popular nano-silver neck gaiters. That's a mask that'll cover your neck and face. Another great thing is that Boomer will donate one face cover for every order to nonprofits and charities, helping tens of thousands of Americans in need, and I got to say, I love that.
Yeah, order now at boomernaturals.com. Use promo code Booker and save 20%. That code Booker at boomernaturals.com. Get free shipping and handling when you spend at least $50 online at boomernaturals.com.
To the pay-per-view last week. Now, we do have a pay-per-view this week from AEW. It's AEW's All Out pay-per-view. And there was I want to talk just to you about two matches and just kind of get your thoughts and opinions on this upcoming AEW pay-per-view. By the way, they are letting fans in to this show in limited numbers, I believe 10 to 15% capacity. So there will be fans in attendance at Daly's Plaza out there in, I think it's Jacksonville, Florida, where they emanate from. But the two matches I want to ask you about. Main event, MJF is challenging for the AEW championship against Jon Moxley, who's the current champion. I've heard you in the past on this show talk highly of MJF from a character standpoint, and we know what Jon Moxley can do inside the squared circle. What do you think about that as the main event for this show?
Well, I mean, I'm very high on MJF as far as his character, man, is him being able to know exactly what the business means as far as making people feel a certain way. This kid, to the point to where I think he was even rude at autograph signings. You know,
flipped off a 7-year-old or something.
Yeah, he flipped off a 7-year-old kid. You know, and he's like, you know, I'm in character, bro. You know what I mean? I'm you know, just the gimmick, you know. And me personally, would I tell him to dial that back and say, hey, bro, come on. You know what I mean? You know, you got to know when to turn it on and turn it off. You know, these people paying your bills. Of course, I would say that up to MJF, but seeing how far he's willing to go and how far he's willing to take, making people feel a certain way about him, it means a whole lot. I bring up a good friend of mine thinking about MJF, JBL. I remember JBL, they told JBL, hey, man, we're going to be making a T-shirt out of for you, and we're going to be sending you some designs. And JBL goes, no, you're not going to be making a T-shirt of me. And they go, why not? He said, because I'm a heel. You know, heels don't sell T-shirts, you know, and that right there it's a true statement to what the game really means to certain people when they go out there and do it. MJF is one of those guys. Jon Moxley, MJF, I think that'll be good. There again, MJF, his name got there well before, you know, his wrestling ability and who he was and what he brought to the game as far as a professional wrestler. I just knew who MJF was. I just knew those synonyms, those names, those letters. And then for MJF to have made it that far without showing me anything in the ring tells me a whole lot about this dude. He can figure that part out later. You know,
You got the hard part down.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, he's got the hard part down.
Right.
And so me personally, I'm thinking about you know, highly anticipating seeing that match and how it go down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he is somebody who, and I think you and I were talking about this maybe a couple weeks back, but MJF, when you ask me what's my favorite MJF match, I don't have one. I can't remember one match that he's had, but I do know, like you said, I'm invested in his character when I see it on screen. When I see him talking, I get engaged in what he's saying. And I mean, I'm giving him the desired reaction, like, get this guy off my screen. So, I think that him versus Moxley, that's going to be a challenge for him from a how to implement that character in a main event championship match on pay-per-view. It's one thing to be the honky tonk man, right? It's one thing to have that over the top character. It's another to main event for the world title. So to see him try to balance those two within the confines of that match, that's what I'm going to be interested to see.
No, I'm gonna be interested in watching his work.
Yeah.
Because you got to be able to bring that to the table, man. You got to be able to, you got to be able to go out there and do both. You can't be, one dimensional in this business. You got to be definitely 3-dimensional. You got to be able to go out there and work in the ring, backstage promos, as well as from a marketing standpoint. You got so many things you got to be thinking about, because you're trying to motivate fans there again to love you or hate you. And if you're in between, we always tell those guys, man, if you're in between and you walk out the curtain and the fans don't get that pop, and then, or if the fans just say nothing, those are the two places, you want to be on one side. You don't want to be on the other. You don't want to be in the middle. And that's what I think a guy like MJF brings to the table, man, as well as, like I say, John Moxley, because I got to give it to Mox, man. He's radical. He's different. And he doesn't do a whole lot.
But he's over.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I'm serious. And that's what I say. That's what I be trying to teach and talk about when I preach about this stuff. And some guys get it, some guys don't. But when I look at John Moxley, he doesn't do anything, but he does it everything pretty good. You know what I mean? He's a different kind of guy. In this business where everyone is doing the exact same thing, to be able to find out how to do it a little bit different than everyone else is doing, it's an art. And that's what guys like John Moxley brings to the table. He's not a guy that's going to go do a backflip off the top rope through the table outside the ring. It's not going to happen. But if you want to see a guy go out there and just, whoop someone's ass like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Moxley's your guy. So that lets me know, it lets the world know that wrestling and making people feel a certain way is definitely still alive.